This is Facility Rockstars, the podcast that celebrates the unsung heroes of our daily lives, facility professionals. I'm your host, Jay Colbert. Join me as we honor these great leaders, sharing stories, insights, and expertise that empower us all to learn and grow together. Facility Rockstars is sponsored by Coludus, operating the way you operate in order to make your life easier. Welcome back to a special episode of Facility Rockstars. This is part 2 of our deep dive into the highlights from our most recent Facility Rockstars event. If you missed the first episode, be sure to check it out for the initial wave of short-form content that captured all the buzz and the excitement. Today, we're continuing the journey, bringing you even more unforgettable moments and behind-the-scenes energy that made the event a true success and truly enjoyable. Thanks again to everyone who joined us and helped make it all possible. Now, without further ado, let's dive into today's episode.
I just wanted to start off asking, who are you and what do you do?
Sure. So I'm Ted Karanis. I'm the Vice President of Life Sciences for GDI Integrated Facility Services.
Awesome. What's your favorite part about your job?
I love working with people, really work with a lot of biotech, pharmaceutical companies, so helping to make medicines to make people healthier.
Yeah, so Curtis Moulton. I work at Pratt Whitney as the Facility Engineering Manager.
Nice. How long have you been there?
I started as an intern in 2011.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
I was an intern for a couple of years. I moved in full-time as just a regular machine repair technician, moved into the engineering department, and then from there moved up.
Yeah, just worked your way up the ladder, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's been great experience.
Hi, my name's Elizabeth Iverson, and I'm a scientist.
Where do you work?
I work at EMD Serono.
Hey, my name's Dan O'Connell. I am a facilities director at Alnylam Pharmaceuticals, and I manage various groups under the lab services and facilities umbrella.
What would you say that the hardest part of your job is?
People.
Yep. What about them?
Sometimes it's knowing what motivates them, how to get them to do better, how to grow them as a person, and also help the company as well.
And is there like some best practice that you have when you're like leading your team and trying to make them feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves?
And we're on a podcast, so I got to say listening, right?
Right.
Listening is key, and trying to not talk and over talk, and it's not always about what's being put out, but it's also what's coming back to you.
Awesome.
I'm Mike Rich, the Senior Facilities Manager, Facilities and Lab Infrastructure at AbbVie.
All right. Welcome. What does that job mean? What do you do?
I manage all the facilities and lab support to support the lab functions.
Okay. What's the hardest part of your job?
Probably dealing with the different people, different personalities, different set of needs, different goals.
Okay.
Try to decipher what people need and how to support them.
And what is the secret sauce? How do you do that well?
Number one, communication. Everything starts with an intro, and then typically a walkthrough, and try to figure out what the needs are and how we can support them.
I'm Frank Platty. I'm the Director of Real Estate and Facilities for Car Gurus. I've been in the construction, design, real estate industry for about 20 years.
Wow, 20 years.
Yeah.
Sure, you've seen a bunch of things. You've learned a lot, I'm sure.
I have. I worked my way up through, through college, starting in construction management, and then working my way, from smaller projects, residential to commercial, and then working over on the owner side, consulting for Google for a little bit, building out their offices and office space across the country. And now I'm over, like I said, at a Car Gurus in their new building.
What's your biggest challenge?
Biggest challenge. Trying to anticipate people's needs.
And what's the secret to doing that right?
Asking questions, talking to them, being personable, and then building relationships.
I'm Mike Albano. I'm Facilities Manager at EMD Serono in Billerica, Massachusetts. We recently just opened up space in Seaport, Pier 4. So we get a couple of floors down there, and we just recently opened that up this year.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
What's the hardest part of your job?
Covering all the bases, so head count and budget restraints, or product availability timelines, and dealing with older buildings and equipment that's looking at end of life, and those hard to get parts. So keeping things up and running.
Do you have a favorite property?
I actually really do like our Boston Seaport site.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in a Commonwealth building, so
Okay.
we're not you don't have too many responsibilities down there with mechanicals, but the VAV boxes within the sale and some ice machines and general carpentry requests and things like that come in for facilities needs. But the space is really nice. It's got all the state of the art, and just going
Really?
outside and tatés in our lobby. So it's great.
Excellent. Andrew Delpre, Senior Facilities Manager at Liberty Mutual and current president of IFMA Boston.
All right. So someone famous.
I don't know about that. I always just say I'm just working hard doing my job.
Yeah. How'd you get into being the president? That's pretty impressive.
Great question. So I graduated from Mass Maritime doing engineering, and at first it was all AFE, Association for Facility Engineers.
Okay.
Went to Liberty Mutual. My boss said, you need to join IFMA. I said, what's IFMA? And he's like, just join a committee. So I did that, started to volunteer, and started doing a couple different committees, and got onto the board, and then really passionate about what I do, and I really want to pay it forward. So when the opportunity came up to be president, I said if I can continue and just, again, help grow the next generation of leaders in facilities, that's kind of my passion. So that's how I got there in a nutshell in 12 years.
Okay. Well, how about a shout out to anyone listening that isn't a part of it? What do you tell them, and where do they go to?
Oh, absolutely.
Learn more?
I would say definitely just join a committee, get involved. I'll be a little biased to IFMA Boston, but whether it be ASHRAE, Facility Rockstars, IFMA Boston, Coronet, just get involved, volunteer. It's all about building relationships and getting a network. And that's what I would recommend. Do something that's a little bit outside of your job, but still related. End of the day, we're all in it together.
Yeah.
And don't want to say misery loves company, but you're all going through the same thing.
Right. What would you say the biggest challenges you're seeing across the industry?
Resources. Right now, I see it as resources. When I see the younger generation, I really, really want to get them involved, try to mentor. I see certain universities or colleges either dropping the facility management degree, or even in the trades where they used to do a spring and a fall session. Then they don't get the numbers, so they drop to once a year session. So I think it's the next generation, not the millennials, maybe Gen Z. It looks like we may be getting another welders, electricians, a lot of the trades guys.
Oh, great.
Which is great, but I think I've been saying it for the last 5 to 7 years. We're starting to live that world right now. I think the resources and succession planning is critical.
Right.
When there's a lot of intuitive and intellectual knowledge with these guys that have been in the industry for a while. And once they walk out the door, if there's no one there to take their place, that's a problem.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you're here to champion and get people in there.
Nice.
My name is Ray T. Burge, and I work for a company called Hub Office Installations. And in 10 words, I would say I fill skyscrapers with furniture. Is really what I do, which is kind of a cool job. And I've been doing it for 40 years, which has been a lot of fun, because wherever there's growth, wherever there's construction going on, tower cranes is when I get excited, and you see multiple floors going up, and whoever is moving in there, as long as it's not residential, some sort of a commercial enterprise, could be insurance, could be Amazon, could be Liberty Mutual, Bank of America, whatever. They're going to need the space built out in terms of the furniture, fixtures, and equipment, the FF&E. The interior, the general contractor is only going to do so much. He's going to put a skin on it. He's going to do the core and shell. But the interiors, the furnishings, need to come from somewhere. Now, they'll buy them from a dealer, but all of the logistics, and it's much harder to get 1,200 workstations into a skyscraper than people think.
Right.
And usually there's so many other people are moving in the building at the same time, other construction going on. So it's a real logistical and project management challenge to pull that all together, and then to find the manpower and the trucking that has the ability to make that happen. So that's what I do on a daily basis. It's pretty cool. I enjoy it.
Yeah. So what would you say your favorite part of the job is?
The favorite part of the job is achieving things that people think can't be done. That's my favorite, is when somebody says, oh, we couldn't possibly do 3 floors at once, or we couldn't possibly complete that in 6 weeks. Okay, great. That's a challenge, and I'm going to take it, and we'll find a way to do it. There's always a way to do it. It's just a matter of time and money and effort.
Paul Donhauser. I work at Boston Scientific. I've been there about 20 years, and I run the global real estate facilities, environment, health and safety, and aviation team at Boston Scientific.
Wow, that's a huge title. How do you keep track of all of those things?
Great team members, right? And so I'm in my third decade in my career, year 30. And I've spent the last 10 years just developing and mentoring people. So they pay it back in spades. And that's where I'm at now in my
What's
career.
the hardest part of your job?
Change management, right? We're in a crazy world right now. And so I spend a lot more time away from my degree in training in college and more just listening to people. So sometimes I'm a bit of a therapist, psychologist. Certainly the fundamentals of what I've learned over the year are important because that's what people sit down to acknowledge me and actually understand, and they get buy-in and I get buy-in. But once we get past that, it's all about the change management and mental aspect about people and just finding out how they're wired and how can I better help them be successful in their careers. So,
Do you have a secret sauce for doing it right?
No, just be a good person, good listener. That's it, honestly. It goes back to what my parents taught me.
The basics, right?
There's no fancy book to read or anything. I feel like be a really good person and be super empathetic, sympathetic. There is not one person that I have dealt with that doesn't have a lot going on outside of work.
Yeah.
And so just listen. That's it.
So my name is Sal DeFranco, and I'm the Director of Sales at Bluebeam.
Okay, and what is Bluebeam?
Yeah, so Bluebeam is a business payment automation platform that handles spend management as well as expense management.
Mm-hmm. And I heard you talking earlier, you're a Navy SEAL.
That's right.
And I was wondering if you could just talk a little bit about how that experience has impacted your life and also your business adventures.
Yeah, so obviously being a SEAL is a pretty unique experience, and along the way you have you meet some incredible people, and you're able to push yourself to your limits and really find out what those limits are. That's kind of helped me build confidence in the business world, and that network that I've created through that brotherhood within the SEAL teams has really helped as well, kind of expand my boundaries, right? So, I've been introduced and exposed to things on the outside world that I probably would not have been exposed to had I not, had these connections, these brothers in the SEAL team that have kind of showed me the way.
And I want to ask, obviously we're local here, so what's your favorite Boston sports team?
I think I have to go with the Patriots. Not a good year for them, but
unfortunately,
I think they're still number one in my book.
Yes, they're growing, right?
Yeah, it's coming. It's
Yes.
turning the corner.
The Bruins. I went to UMaine, loved hockey there. I saw my first Bruins game last year, like live in person. It was the best experience.
The Patriots.
And have you been watching them for a long time?
I'm a season ticket holder.
Oh, that's amazing. Unfortunately, they're not doing super hot right now.
Terrible. We are get rid of them now.
Right there, Boston Celtics.
Awesome. Have you been to any games recently?
We have Rafters tickets, so we go to a game every month.
Boston sports team is I got to go Bruins on that one.
Okay, fair enough.
But, my LA Rams did beat the Patriots this past weekend, so.
Well, when the
Gotta give them
Patriots
a
are
little
playing
plug, yeah.
like the Browns, it's not easy to have that happen. But we'll turn this into a sports show. What do you think?
Still good to watch. I had to sit through the Super Bowls that we lost.
Well, it's the Bruins.
Okay.
I'm
There
a
was
hockey
no
guy.
hesitation on that.
No hesitation at all. I grew up in New York on Long Island, and I was a black sheep, if you will. It's the only Bruins fan I knew. My dad was a Ranger fan. My brother was an Islanders fan.
I was going to say Islanders.
And the second I had a
Rangers.
chance to leave to school to come here, I was like, see you later.
Peace.
Yeah.
Favorite Boston sports team would have to be the Patriots.
Still.
Yeah, still.
Still.
No, well,
Okay.
no. Right now we're going through some struggles, in
It's true.
Boston. The Celtics
It's
are
true.
doing all right there,
It's
but
true.
everybody else has had their challenges.
Yeah, that's true.
Was a season ticket holder though through '98 and 2005.
Wow.
So we had a good run then.
All right, so you've seen it quite a bit.
Sure did.
Oh, Bruins. Boston Bruins hockey guy.
There was no hesitation.
Mhm.
That was like a 0 millisecond reply. Bruins, 100%. Have you been to see the games lately?
Yes, I've been to like 3 or 4 so far this season. I have 2 boys, 6 and 4, and my wife brought them to last Saturday's game. little disappointed and lost in overtime, but they got to experience the overtime, so that was pretty exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think? Stanley Cup?
Maybe not this year. I think 3 years ago was definitely their season. They got the upset early oust by Florida Panthers. I
Right.
truly believe that was an
Remember
upset.
that.
Yeah. Then 2 years ago, it was the upset. Well, it wasn't an upset. Florida Panthers, I'll give them credit where it's deserved. They were just a better team.
Mhm.
And right now, the Bruins have some things to work on. They're a good organization. They'll get it figured out. But yeah, they're still trying to get there. I don't think they've ever got from preseason, get the kinks out yet, but they'll get there. There's still plenty of hockey left.
I just don't want to hear any record-setting, all wins, no loss, like no records. We don't want any of that because that always is like a curse, right?
100%. I'm totally okay with them gaining momentum, sneaking into the postseason.
Sneak it on in there, right to the Stanley Cup. Take the cup and run, right?
My favorite Boston sports team is the Boston Red Sox. I love all of the teams in Boston, but if I had to choose a favorite, it would be the Red Sox.
And do you have a favorite story about going to a Red Sox game?
No, not so much. I think just sort of idolizing Carl Yastrzemski is sort of my idol. For me, the last sort of Triple Crown winner, there was one in recent history, but for me, that was the epitome of Yaz's career, was winning the Triple Crown in 67. I grew up in the 60s and fell in love with the Red Sox. So for me, my love and connection with the Red Sox is the longest. I've been in love with them for longer than I have the Celtics or the Bruins or the Patriots. So I think it's just seeing those guys over time, the longevity of it that has really drawn me to it.
Yeah, lots of growth.
Lots of history too.
Definitely the New England Patriots.
Still?
And it is not because of all of their success. That's part of it. It is because I started watching them with my dad in 1984, 85. Bury the Bears, Squish the Fish. Had my heart ripped out for years in the 90s.
Yes.
Watched them build a individual agnostic team. And I actually learned a lot from that when I built my team. And I've used a lot of, I don't want to put names out there, but say Belichick and Parcells and some of that selfless approach. It's very corollary to what I do today. And just seeing them now go through some struggles and seeing a bright light in Drake May. And I've got twin 14-year-old boys, and telling them the stories and watching tape and explaining Tom Brady a little bit more. And it's been neat. So there's a little bit more than just the winning piece.
Right. But really the formation. And I mean, I loved I experienced the terror of the 90s as well.
Right.
And always losing, or felt like it. But what a contrast to then have Brady come along, right? But it's great that you were looking beyond the ball and you're actually learning from the team and the leadership and the coaching.
Yeah, and I think I have twins and they're different. One plays sports, one doesn't.
Sure.
I encourage sports more for the team aspect of things and not necessarily about the accomplishments. Maybe that's more of a current day traditional. I coach flag football and different things, and I just love the kids and the passion for participating, having fun, burning off some energy.
Yeah.
Parents thank me. And so just the team aspect of sports. And so a little bit more focus on that. If we win, great. I'd love to win.
It's a toughie.
You got to say, New England Patriots. Yeah, New England Patriots. I will say, I do get into hockey.
Right.
I do enjoy hockey. But then you have to ask yourself, okay, you have a hockey game on and you have a football game, and they're on at the same time. And you can only watch one. Which one are you going to watch? I mean, you're going to watch football. Now, is that a product of the actual, the sport? Is that a product of the product? Or is that a product of the scarcity of football games? Right? There's 50 hockey games, roughly. There's 17 football games.
Right.
So you kind of weigh that out, and I think you're always going to lean football.
Right. And I'm assuming you've been to Gillette to see them?
I have, yeah. Actually, a few years ago, we have some friends with season tickets. One of them, one of the season ticket holders actually had knee surgery. And so we purchased a season worth of tickets. We went to every home game.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was. But having said that, I'm okay if I never go to another Gillette game again.
I'm sure.
That's a long drive. It's a long drive, and you never know who you're going to run into there, and some of the fans can get a little wily and can be a little obnoxious. So sometimes you just want to enjoy the game. You don't want to have to deal with people.
Yep.
And luckily, when you're at home in front of your TV, you can enjoy the game without those distractions.
And then the last question I wanted to ask is, what's your favorite part about being a part of this Facility Rockstars community?
Really just the camaraderie, the networking with the team. I actually was one of the original group with Jay, so it's just been a great experience for me from the beginning. So hopefully we keep it going and keep it growing as well.
The networking, and if you have a problem at your facility, someone else in the area has already come up with a great solution. So why reinvent the wheel? Reach out to your peers, reach out to the community, and see what the solutions are. So that's been a huge help.
That's awesome.
Meeting everyone and knowing everyone and getting to know what they do and everything involved with that.
The knowledge sharing. So all of these people are in the same industry and they have similar backgrounds, but we all face different problems. And it's great to have a bunch of people that could help out in a situation that arises.
Amazing. I've learned so much since I've started on with, I've known Jay for a number of years before, but, putting all this together and giving our community a forum to get together. And, before it was, maybe knew one or two people that could help you out in a tough situation. Now, there's a room full of people that can support you.
Well, I'm just getting to know this community, but they seem to be very informed, outgoing folk that want to share their experience and history and passing information back and forth just to make everyone better.
So great group of guys, good, excellent opportunity to make connections. Everybody's always moving around. There's a lot to learn from everybody. To get people from different sectors and, pharmaceutical, healthcare. There's a lot to learn. And watching the podcast, you get a lot of insight on, different levels of the business, senior directors and facilities managers and supervisors. And there's a lot to learn from everybody. So met a lot of nice guys. We've done a lot of fun events. Continue to do that just like tonight.
Love it. It's just great to hear other people literally dealing with the same issues, same challenges. The facility roles a broad spectrum based on industry, whether it's commercial real estate, academia, pharmaceutical, life science. However, the challenges are all the same. Heating, cooling, lab space, and just to build a relationship even within the contractor field to say, hey, I have this problem, phone a friend, who do you recommend? And then you kind of build a little bit of a brotherhood or a good network of people that you can trust to make that phone call. So we're all in it together. And again, really try to just pay it forward and build relationships and extend the network.
I think it's the energy. It's the positivity, that everybody's excited about the work that they do. They're really making a difference in people's work lives every day, helping them find that work-life balance. While we may not manage them directly, we manage their work environment and we make it the best that it can be, within the confines that we have. So I think everybody here is dealing with that, dealing with whether it's mechanical, electrical, or lighting. It's all of the elements of facilities, whether it's the lease and human resources. You're balancing so many pieces to produce a successful environment for people to work in and hopefully be happy at their jobs to the extent that we can have an impact on that.
So to be honest with you, this came out of nowhere for me. Jay had reached out to me. I'm at really the tail end of my career now. Certainly have my network and trying to give back to my team and my adjacencies where I work. This actually opened a door to a whole different group of individuals and a whole new platform that I've been watching because I follow podcasts of different things and real estate and whatnot. This was something in my neck of the woods, specific to my area. And I'm new to this group, but super excited to meet people here and continue to expand my network.
Yeah, so that's an interesting question because I am not in facilities management, right?
Right.
So again, part of Bluebeam, expense management, spend management, a lot of accounting automation. Luckily, Bluebeam is in a position to help a lot of companies that are in facilities management. And, with Jay's help, he's been able to introduce me to a lot of those people. And I think we're adding real value to those companies. I love the camaraderie. It's not very often that you see, this many people at an event on a Thursday night with crummy weather, that's going to put people on the road during rush hour. That kind of commitment to the community is really great to see. And like I said, I was able to speak a little bit in today's event, at today's event. And one of the things I said was, you really got to give it up to Jay. You really got to give it up to Facilities Rockstar. You got to give it up to you. You never really think of facilities management of kind of being in the spotlight, right? You're the unsung hero. You are truly building the foundation on which other companies are building success, right? And so it is nice to see, this industry kind of, being put out there a little bit and getting the recognition they deserve. It is cool. I like it.
And that wraps up part 2 of our special Facility Rockstars Highlights series. We hope you enjoyed these additional short-form moments from our most recent event. There's so much more excitement to come, so be sure to stay tuned for future episodes. A huge thank you once again to everyone who made the event unforgettable. If you want to keep up with all things Facility Rockstars, don't forget to subscribe on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode. It's a wrap. Another episode of Facility Rockstars is in the books. Facility Rockstars is sponsored by Coludus, operating the way you operate in order to make your life easier. Until next time, facilitate and rock on.